Okay, fine. Thank you. Okay, and one more thing. Happy Independence Day, guys.
Yeah, same to you, Vikas.
Thank you.
Yes, and everybody else.
Sorry.
Everybody else also in the team.
Yeah, yeah. So today we have very less people. So we can start now. So guys, please open your post JMeter in your machine. We can start now. Let me call everyone last time. Yeah, I have called everyone. You can mute, guys. So in last class we have seen the preprocessor. In yesterday class we have seen the preprocessor. Okay, how many preprocessor we have seen? We have processor. We have seen user parameter. Okay, it's like how use the user parameter, and the second the S that was
Vikas, your
spelled
voice is
HTTP
breaking.
URL rewriting modifier. It's breaking.
Yes, it's breaking.
No, it's working fine, man. It's working. No. We have connected with some mobile. No, it's working or not? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Today you will face issue. If we face more issue, then we can cancel the class. Okay. Okay. So in last class we have in yesterday class we have seen the user parameter. We have seen HTML link parser, and in this class we are going to discuss HTTP URL rewriting modifier. How we can use this preprocessor. Okay. So please open your JMeter. Okay, so let me delete this. 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 Okay, so otherwise I can create the new test plan. Let me create the new one. Okay, it's better. Okay, so I'm creating the new test plan. Okay, so right click, add thread group I have added, and then right click and then add the sampler, HTTP sampler I have added. Okay, and add one more sampler, make the duplicate. Okay, and add the listener. So these are the basic things which you have to add inside the test plan. Okay, so uh, uh, my requirement is now, this is the application. Let me, this is the incognito private mode, I think. Yeah, private mode. Okay, so we are trying to do the performance testing for this application, right? This is your application. Okay, the pat store. Okay, when you click on enter the store, okay, it will display the pat store. So you can see it display the home page, right? When I click on the either fish, let's suppose I want to take fish or dogs, reptiles, cats, or birds. Okay, I click. Okay, so when I click on the fish, you can see the URL, the query parameter, view category, and okay, and one more thing, because let me close the browser and open the new private window. This is the okay. So I will again hitting the URL and enter the store, and click on the fish. Oh, it's not again taking. Give me a second. The Chrome browser, and I have opened the Chrome browser. Let me go the incognito mode and open the Pet Store application. I open the Jetpack Store application, click on enter the store, and click on the doc. Yeah, here you can see the JSON ID, session ID. Can you see it here, J session ID, and the ID number is this one, right? So when the session ID is get created, guys, anyone having any idea what did you mean by the session ID? Anyone having
A
high
session
level
is
idea?
a session is when we click in and till the time we close the browser, there is one particular time frame which is called a session, and I think that is it. It's a time frame, and the session by session, web works with the session.
Okay, so what happened when we are searching anything in the browser, right? So let's suppose I'm trying to open the Facebook, right? So when I hit the URL, the Facebook, so the browser will assign one session ID. Okay, the browser will assign the session ID, and that session ID will use in the subsequent call. Right, like to click on the any link or perform the any action, right? That session ID will be used in the subsequent call. Okay, so similarly here, that's why I was trying to generate the session ID, right? That's why I have opened in the incognito mode, okay, to get the session ID. Because if I open here, not in the private window, if I open here, let's see, because I have already opened this, yeah, here you can see it gets generated, the session ID. The session ID gets generated, right? So this session ID, let's suppose I'm clicking on the docs, right? So that session ID which is generated by the browser is used in the subsequent call. Whatever action I will use here, that session ID will used in the subsequent call. Okay, if I click on the face, so it that in the beginning you have seen the session ID, right? That session ID is generated by the browser and it is used in the subsequent call. If I close this thing, close this app, right, and if I again open, so it will generate the new session ID for you. It will generate the new session ID for you. Okay, so here you can see the session ID is generated by the browser. Okay, and you can see this is your query parameter. This is your query parameter, right? Now what you have to do, let me map this thing. Let map this thing, copy this URL and pass it here. I have passed it here. Now split this thing. How I can split? I have to use the guys in between. Please say something, because means it confirm me my network is working fine. Okay, so I have mapped this URL. I have mapped the pet store URL, right? So the first request, the first scenario first scenario is to open the Jetpack store, right? Right. So I will open the Jetpack store. Okay, this is my first scenario, right? The second request is enter the store. So go and inspect this element and take the request. Here you can see script record this.
Your voice
Voice is breaking because.
Waiting. Guys, give me 1 second. I think my Wi-Fi is again start working. So let me connect my Wi-Fi. Give me 1 second. Yeah, can you hear me now? It's clear now?
Yes, Vikash. Yes, it's clear now.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Now my Wi-Fi is working fine now. Yeah, where I was. So the first scenario was to open the URL. That is the one request. In the second request, I click on the Jetpack store link. So I will get this dashboard page, right? Now I will map this request into my JMeter. Okay. You can also use the recording to record the request. Okay. So give the name, open the app, open the app URL, something like open the app. You can give it. Okay. This is your one request. And let me save this thing, save. And this request is this one. Okay. So split this thing, go and split this thing, remove the double slash. Okay. Now this resource I have to mention here. Okay. So this is your second request. Now the third one is I have to click on the fish item or docs item. Okay. So you can see I'm using the same browser, doing the same action in the same browser. That's why the session ID is not get created, right? If you close the browser and if you reopen this application, the session ID again get generated. Okay. Here you can see if I click on the fish, the session ID and the session ID get generated. Here you can see in the URL. Okay. So my scenario is guys, tell me, let's suppose we have, let me create one more request. The second request name is open the home page, something like that I have give. Now let me add the second sampler, and the second sampler name is http request. Okay. Second, the third sampler, and give, copy this URL and go here and pass it here. Now guys, you guys can help me to map this thing. You guys will help me to map this thing. Yes guys, tell me. I have copied this URL, right, and I have pasted it here. Now you guys help me to split this thing. How I can? Tell me guys.
HTTP will be in the protocol section.
All here I have to pass. Now remove the double slash from here. Double slash from here. Now copy this and pass it here, right?
Yes.
Right. Now guys, here the question is, let's suppose if I pass the static data here. Right now what we are doing, we are passing the static data here, right or wrong, as a session ID, right?
Yes.
Right. So but our scenario is every user have in the real time. Guys, tell me, my session ID will be different, your session ID will be different. If the 100 user using this application, tell me each user having the separate session ID or not?
Yes.
Separate session ID, right? But if I pass like that, like a static data, so for the every user this will be the same session ID. So this is not the actual scenario I have created, right?
Correct.
Right. What we will do here, we will use the concept of preprocessor, that is HTTP URL rewriting modifier. We have seen HTML and user parameter, okay, and sample timeout. Okay, now we are going to use HTTP URL rewriting modifier. It will modify your URL actually. Okay, select this, right? And what is the property name? The property name is JSessionID. Okay, so pass the JSessionID here. Pass the JSessionID here. Okay, now again create one more preprocessor, and in this preprocessor we have also another category, another key. One key is JSession ID, another key is view category, and third one is the category ID. Okay, let's pick up the view category and pass it here. Only name, the key name you have to pass it. Okay, you have passed. Now for the third key, what you are doing here, go to the HTTP and pass the third key, category ID here. Category ID here. We are not using any regular expression here, dot asterisk symbol. You are simply passing the key name. Okay, and go here and let me remove the data up to here. Okay, so let's see what happened when I call this thing. So guys, open the app means it will open the application. Let me remove the double slash. Okay, it will open the application. This is your first request. In the second request, it will open the home page. After open the home page, you will get this option like this home page. You will where it is, let me go to the fish. I think which home page you will get. Give me a second. Let me again go to the, yeah, this one is, and yeah, this home page will get, this one you will get. This is your second request. Now I'm clicking on the fish. I'm clicking on the fish. This is the third one. Okay, in the third scenario, you require the dynamic session ID. You require the dynamic session ID, right? You don't want the static session ID. So what happened? This request will execute, this request will execute, right? So before executing the third request, this one, right? Let's suppose I'm giving the name as a click on element. Before executing the third element, the third request, so HTTP preprocessor, what will do? It will go to the response body of open the home page and get this value, JSession ID value. JSession ID value, and when this call connect with the server, then it will map that thing into the URL. Okay, let me call and see what happened. I have used the view result tree. Let me call blank blank blank. Why? Something we are doing wrong, guys. We have mapped wrongly. Try to find the issue, where issue is. This thing correct. This thing, let me remove the no, this thing is also correct. This thing is also correct. Let me, I think we are not passing the colon. Let's see. That's why mapping is very important. Yeah, because we are mapping manually. If you use the recorder, then you will not face issue. Yeah, you can see, I think we have passed the colon here. That's why it's showing the blank. Here you can see what is the first request. Open the app. if you go here, you can see the URL, right? And you can see the response. What, and can you see it here, response? Right, this is the response, right? When you open the home page, if you go here, you can see this is the URL of the this is the request URL for the second request. If you go to the response body, you can see the response body. Okay, the same like here, which we are getting here. If you go to the network section, if you go here and let me clear and hit and go to the response. So you can see copy 10 2016 original author. This you are getting in the response. If I go here and check, are you getting the same or not? Is same
Yes.
or not?
Yes,
Same,
yes.
right? If you click on the second one, let me click on the second request. This is your second request, right? So if you go here and you can see this is your second request which you are getting in the UI. So if you go into the JMeter, can you see the second request? Let's try to this map this thing W3ORG 199. Can you see it here? Generator and the name, content type, cache control, right? If you go here, you can see the things here. Yeah, here you can see. Okay, so same request we are getting, which we are getting here. Okay, now in the third one, if you go to the third one, can you see it here, guys? The JSON ID, it will, whatever the key I have passed, it will append with the URL. It append with the URL. And here I have passed the view category. You can see the view category is also get append here. And at the end, I have passed the category ID. It will also get append here. Can you see? Right? So when you go to the this particular view result tree, you can see the JSON ID. The let's suppose the 318 is the last one, 318. Okay, let's again hit this request and go to the open. Can you see earlier it was 318, I think. Now it is 014D. Can you see it here, guys? It is different or not? Let's suppose I'm hitting this for the 5 user. Let's see every user having the separate JSON ID or not. So you can see this is the first user 169 and go to the here, click on the element. This is the second one. 00B, the JSON ID is different. The third one 385, fourth one 7BC, fifth one 6A5. Right? So this is the use of HTTP URL rewriting modifier. Generally, we are using this concept in the case of any data which you want. Before executing the main request, you want that data from the previous request, and that data is the dynamic. Not I am asking only JSON ID. It could be any dynamic value. Right? If you use that dynamic value, you can use the JSON ID. You can use the JSON ID. Okay, so this is about the preprocessor. Okay, and in the preprocessor, if you go, I told you which one are very important: user parameter, HTML, HTTP URL rewriting. This one is using when we look into the database. Okay, that time we will use this processor. Okay, and regex expression, yeah, that we will learn, but at the end of this class. Okay, and sample timeout we have already discussed. If you missed the class, please watch the yesterday session. Okay, and bin cell preprocessor. So in the bin cell preprocessor, you require the Java code here. You need the coding here, right? So that thing is pending. When I start teaching the coding part, that time I will explain you the bin cell preprocessor. Okay, now the preprocessor is clear.
Vikash,
Yeah, ma'am.
I
Yes,
have
ma'am.
one doubt in this HTTP URL modifier.
Mhm.
Usually, we used to give this query parameter in this request by adding, right? That parameter we usually used to give if it is a static thing.
Sorry, come again. Come again.
I mean to say, usually the query parameter we used to give in this request itself, right? By adding, we used to give add and we'll give the category ID, what is the key and value, right? That is the usual thing we used to give if it is a static. So,
If it is static, then you can simply use the parameter here.
yes,
The
that's what I'm coming to.
parameter.
So,
You can
since it is
simply
a
pass the
dynamic,
value in the parameter. But here the things is in the URL, the JSON ID. Let me. Okay. Yeah. No. I have to close the browser and again open. So here, no. Here also not. Let me close. Let me open the mode and go here and take the URL. Okay, now paste it here. So when I click on Jetpack Store, so you can see if I click on the fish, right, the JSON ID is get generated by the browser. Okay, this thing is the dynamic, right? So if the things are the dynamic which you are using in the URL, okay, so you can use the HTTP URL rewriting modifier. If the things are, let's suppose, static, you can simply use the parameter. Then there is no need to use this concept.
yes, Vikash, I got it. And what about the category ID equal to fish where you have selected that?
Actually, what happened for this JSON, for this particular where it is view result tree. Here you can see the category is fish is taking, right? So category is fish. So I think
We have just given, right, Vikash? Just we have typed as category ID, but as a particular fish where it is specified. How
no,
come it is?
it's what happened. It's what happened when I open the when I call the open home page, right? You will get the response here. Open here, here you will get the response here. So what this preprocessor will do, right? It will go and check this response. It will go and check this response, right? And whatever the key you have used here, right? So they will take this key value. So here I am using J session ID. So it will get the let's suppose this is the first user, right? So if you go here and type here, if you go and search J session ID, if you go here and search J session ID, here you can see the J session ID. Can you see it here? J session ID, right? So this preprocessor, what will do, it will go to the previous request and check this property, check this key, and whatever the key value is there in the response, it will get that value, right? If you go here into the content and here you can see 169. Can you see it here? If you go to the response, if I go, it is 169. Can you see it here? 169, right? So it will get the session ID here. Now it's go and check the other HTTP URL rewriting modifier, that is view category. So view category, in every case we are passing as a blank here. You can see it is the blank, right? So it will also, if I copy this thing here and go to the response in the second request response and pass it here, you can see it here. View category is blank. Can you see it here? View category is blank. So that's why in the URL here it's showing as a blank. If you go to the request, click on the element here, you can see it is a blank, right? Now the category ID, so it will, I have added one more preprocessor, that in that I have used the category ID. So it will go and check the category ID in this request, right? In this response. So category ID, let me copy the name and it will go here and check. So here go and check. So you can see the category ID is the FIS, right? So that's why it's taking the FIS here. When you go here and into the request, you can see FIS.
But in the request, we haven't passed like fish, right, Vikash?
In
How
here,
come in response it is? No, I'm asking about.
this is the request.
Oh,
Here I have used only URL, right?
okay.
But you can see if you are trying to search, like let's suppose I'm trying to search fish, okay? So the fish will get append as a query parameter. It's showing in the URL here, right? So for that you have used the HTTP, this processor, right? So you have passed the category, so you can see the URL. That means it will append with the URL, append with the base URL. Okay, so this particular thing append with the base URL and it will fetch the value, what value you are getting in the response. So you are getting fish, then it will take the fish.
So
Okay,
it is a random thing. What if we have
no,
to get
random it will not
dogs?
take, it will taking the first one actually.
Oh yeah, I want that point. So it will always defaultly take the first one.
Yeah,
Is that the thing?
those, the value which come first, okay, that will take,
Oh,
right? That will take only.
okay. Then if we need the second one, what we have to do? Because the next one is dogs, right? Fish, dogs, and next columns. Because
So
dynamic instance.
in that case, I told you we can. I think I have explained you in tomorrow class. We can use the which concept, HTTP link parser, and inside the link parser here you can use something like, let me disable this thing. Let me disable this thing. In, I think in tomorrow class I have explained you. Let me delete this processor. I'm only using JSON ID and I have disabled these two things, view category and the category ID. And here I will go here and add the category as a param. Okay, so give me a second. So view inspect and hit this URL. Go to the network section, hit this URL, okay, and go to the network section, go to the header, view source, select this request, copy, and go here, add to clipboard. So it will get added. It will get added. Here I think you can use dot steric symbol, view category, okay, and let's try to execute this thing. Okay, so let me go. View category ID, listen ID, category ID is not taking something. We are here we can use. I have used the dot category ID. In that case, madam, we have to, it's not taking with the dot x. In that case, we have to use the concept like a post processor. The post processor, I think regular expression extractor, or we can use the some other extractor. We have, I will explain you in this class, okay? How you can pick the any value, the dynamic value, okay? Fine, madam, because I
Okay.
have used the HTML link parser, but this thing is not working here. Okay,
Okay.
so we can use the other processor. Okay,
Okay.
guys, you can mute, please.
Because and one more doubt, for if you're adding the HTTP URL rewriting modifier, we can add multiple thing, right? There is no limitation. Whatever the dynamic thing we can add, right?
Yeah, you can
Subsequently.
add here.
So it will append the URL in such order subsequently.
Yeah, in which order you will add it here, in the same order it will append.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
So we seen the pre-processor. Now we are going to discuss the post-processor. What did you mean by the post-processor? So the post processor means, you know, um, one test case is related to the another test case, right? And the post processor means when you create any data, let's suppose you have created the employee data, and after creating the employee data, the server will generate the ID for you, the application ID or customer ID. It will generate one ID for you, right? So you get that ID, right? Now you want to update your data, or you want to get the data using the customer ID or consumer ID or application ID. So tell me, let's suppose you have created your account. Now I want to update the phone number into your account, right? So what I have to do actually? Tell me. I need the consumer ID or application ID or not?
Yes, the
Right.
consumer ID is needed.
Right. So consumer ID is needed, right? So when let me notepad. Let's suppose I log into an application. After logging to an application, okay, let's remove it. I have created the employee object. Okay, so the server will generate what server is doing, generate generate the let's suppose unique ID. Let's suppose it is consumer ID or anything, right? You can give the name, right? Now the second case, in the second request, you want to update the employee data. Let's suppose you want to update phone number. You want to update the phone number. Okay, so to update the phone number, right, you need this unique ID, so that you will get that particular data in your search result. Agree guys?
Yes, Vikash.
Now the third scenario, you want to get the employee data. Whatever the data you have created, you want this data, this particular person data. So you need the unique ID for this request, right? Let's suppose you want to you want to delete the data, delete the employee data, right? Delete the employee data. So again, you need this unique ID. I want to delete your account, so I need your consumer ID or application ID. Agree, guys? Agree?
Yes. Yes.
Right. So for all the three action, what we need? A unique ID. Right? So what you will do, after creating the user, I will use the post processor concept. Processor concept, where after getting the request of the employee, right, I will store this ID by creating one variable. Let's suppose emp id, and store it here 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. This is your ID, right? Now I have to use this employee ID in the subsequent call, right? So using the parameterization, you can use this employee ID in the another subsequent call. That is known as a post processor. After creating the data, you can use the post processor. Guys, tell me one thing, why I'm asking this thing as a post processor? Tell me. Because when you get the employee data, when you successfully executed this request, after then you will get the ID, right? So after executing your scenario, you are getting the employee ID, and then you are storing that ID inside the post processor. That's why it is post processor. In the scenario to fetch the data, there are 3 steps. After executing the scenario, if you get the successful response, if first thing what we have to do to store the employee ID, right? What we have to do first, fetch the data, fetch the employee's data, employee ID, and then store the ID, and then use that ID in other call. This is the whole process of the post processor. And one more thing, in the interview they will also ask you, what did you mean by the correlation? In the interview they will ask you, what did you mean by the correlation? So the correlation means to fetch the data from the response, store that value using the variable, store that value and use that variable in the subsequent call. That is known as a correlation. That is also known as a correlation. Okay, so if you go here and right click, there are multiple post processor. The CSS selector extractor, JSON extractor, JSON JME path extractor, boundary extractor, regular expression extractor, JSR 223 post processor, debug, and JDBC result, XPath2 bin cell. So in which 4 to 5s are very important, which are using in the real time. Okay, so guys, tell me, what is the meaning of the post processor and what is the meaning of pre-processor and what is the difference? In the interview they will ask you, definitely they will ask you, what did you mean by these two processors?
Pre-processor is something before execution it gets added to the request. And post-process is something after execution it gets added, so that for the next execution it is taken.
So why we are adding this thing like pre-processor and the post-processor? What is the reason behind that?
We want to provide values to the request. dynamically. Say for example, as you said, the employee ID.
Mm-hmm. So why? Because we are using this two processor. Let's suppose to execute your main scenario, right? There is something which you have to take it from the previous request, right? So in that case you will use the preprocessor. So what the preprocessor will do, it will fetch the data from the previous request and get that data and store in the store where you want, and using the parameterization or using the preprocessor you can use in the subsequent call. That is the preprocessor. And the post processor, after executing the scenario, after executing the request, fetch the data stored somewhere and use that variable in the subsequent call. That is the main purpose of the post and the pre. Okay, now before explaining the post processor, I want to give you the concept of regular expression. What did you mean by the regular expression? Because to add this regular expression extractor, we need the concept of regular expression. What is the regular expression? Okay, so regular expression means, it is irregular expression are the pattern actually used to match the character or the combination in a string. Let's suppose we have one application. This is the very good application for the regular expression. Yeah, here. If you go here and type regular expression, okay, you can see the different tools of the regular expression. Okay, so this is one application for the regular expression. Okay, give me a second. Let me open in the incognito mode. I have removed the value. Give me a second. Okay, no problem. So let's suppose, let's try to understand what is the mean of regular expression. Let's suppose I am writing here, this is the performance testing class using JMeter tool. Okay, I have written this thing. Okay, now I want to match the character. Let's suppose this is the response which you are getting from the server, right? You want to match the string, you want to match the pattern. Okay, in that case we are using the regular expression. Let's suppose if you type here performance here, so you can see it here. Let me copy the exact thing and pass it here. You can see one match. If I type here, this is like, when we are searching anything and we are passing, something like the exact test, that particular line will get match, right? So if you type here performance, so you can see the performance get match here. You can see if I type here testing, so you can see the testing get match. Okay, let's suppose let me take the value. Give me a second. Let me open the regex. What is the Okay. Rex ER extract and give me a second. Rex ER extractor. Where is the Rex ER extractor? If you are passing me, give me a second. Rex extractor. If you type Rex extractor, somewhere you will get. You are not getting in the response. No problem. Let me share this URL with you. Let me share. You can use this URL. Okay, I have shared this URL. Now let's try to understand. Let's suppose you type here. Let's suppose you have some testing document. Let's suppose testing document. I want to get some text here actually. Let's suppose this text I want. Let's suppose I'm copy. Let's suppose copy this text. And paste it here. Okay, so we have the paragraph here, right? And let's suppose you want to search test, right? What you are doing here, test. You are typing here test. You can see here 2 match found. One text is here, one text is here. Okay, let's suppose I want to search application. Okay, so what I will do, application. You can see 4 match found, 1 match, 2 match, 3 match, 4 match. So it is just like when we are searching anything in the document, right? If the search which you are passing, if that get match, then it will show you the total match, right? It is just like that. Now let's try to understand. Let's suppose I'm adding here some digit. I'm adding some digit here. Okay, I have added some digit here. I'm adding some digit here. Let's change the digit number. In the digit number, the developer are frequently using this concept in his development actually. So we are not going to discuss in the deep level as developer are using, but we are going to discuss the things which are required for the performance testing. Okay, so we have one table, we have one chart table to to match the character, to match the combination of the character. You can see it here, dot. You can see the dot. Dot means any character except new line. If I, this is your search result, right? If you type here dot, can you see everything is get match? Here you can see any character, it will get match. 837 match. 837 get match. Okay, now the second one, slash D. Slash D says only digit 0 to 9 will get match. If I type slash D, can you see it here? Only digit get match here. I will explain you how you can use this thing in the JMeter. First, try to understand the regular expression. So the regular expression is made it from the metadata. Metadata expression. This is the metadata symbol. Metadata. We are asking this thing as a metadata. The regular expression is made it from the metadata. Using the metadata, we are trying to match the pattern or the combination of the string. Okay, so you can see in the chart here, if you type slash D, small d, all the digit will get match. Here you can see 51 matches. 51 matches. Okay, now slash capital D. So when I type slash capital D, it asking you not a digit, except digit, all the things will get match. You can see it here. The alpha and the character and the special character, all the things get match, which are highlighted. You can see 802. You can see the numbers are in the white. The 552323, so it get not match. If you type here D, then it will get match. Number only get match. It get highlighted. Okay. Now, word character. If you type /W, right, the word character from A to Z, A to Z or capital A to Z or 0 to 9. 0 to 9 also. Okay, so slash and W. Can you see it here? A to Z character and capital A to Z and 0 to 9. You can see number also get considered here. All the things get matched. Okay, now white space. There is one more thing. Not a word character. Not a word character. Let's suppose I am tapping capital W. You can see it here. Word means what? Combination of a letter, right? That is the word. You can see it here. The space is not a word. This special character is not a word. You can see all the things are get highlighted, which is not a word. And 158 matches are there. Okay, now slash s, the small s. So it asking you white space. In the white space, all the space, tab and the new line. So let's suppose as you are typing here. Can you see the space get highlighted here? The new line get highlighted here. New line get highlighted here. Right? If you type the capital S, not white space, right? Let's suppose type, you can see it's not highlighting the space or tab or new line. Okay, now word boundary. So word boundary we are not using actually. You can see the word boundary, the boundary of the word actually. Okay, and similarly if you use the capital B, not a word boundary. And there is one very important which are frequently we are using, the dot we are frequently using, and the cap symbol, okay, we are frequently using. Beginning of a string, if you use, let's suppose beginning of a string, so you can see it here. What I have written, I have used regular expression as a cap A. So you can see the every line which start from the A that get highlighted. The 5 matches, the A and A and A and A. Right? If you type here I, you can see there is only one I. You can see this one. If you type W, the W, there is one matches W. Right? So this thing we are using frequently in the real time. And this thing, the dollar symbol we are also using frequently. Right? If you go here and type dollar, that means end of a string. If any string which is end of W, right, so that will get highlighted. Can you see it here? No match, no string is end with the W. Let's suppose I'm typing T here. T is end with here, right? So T. can you see end with the string? No. Is I'm using right thing? Yeah, I have written the wrong syntax, right? So you can see it here. First you have to type the character, okay, and the dollar. You can see the one match get found. In this line, only T get ended with the T string. Let's suppose G, right? So here you can type G. You can see it here. No match. Why? No match. Why it is showing no match? It means use testing and dollar, but it's highlighting this thing. No match. What mistake we are doing? In second, testing, no match. Okay, I think this is in the same line, I believe. That's why it's not taking. What I will do, I will now let's try to check testing. So you can see if I type testing, all the testing will get match, and the dollar symbol. Let's suppose here I am writing plan. What it's saying? End of a string. End of a string. End of a string. One match, that is T, and let's suppose N. Let's suppose N here. N. It is the end of a string. Let's suppose I am using application. Yeah, it's showing application end of the string, but why it was not taking? I think this is in the in the different line. Here you can see here in the different line actually. That's why I think. Okay, and here you can see in the same para. This is the one string, right? So that's why I think it was not taking, I believe. Okay, so yeah, that is the use, right? Now match character, if anything you will use the square bracket. If you use the square bracket, inside the square bracket, let's try to type plan. You can see match character. Whatever the character I have written here, P will get match, L will get match, A will get match, right? N will get match. Not the word, the character, right? If I type here A to Z, you can see it here. All the character get matched. If I type, let's suppose X to Z, you can see it here. Only Y get highlighted. Can you see it here? X, and in between we have Y and Z, right? You can see only Y get highlighted. 5 matches are there. 5 match. 1, 2, 3, 4, and there is one more. 5. Right? So if anything, you will write inside the square bracket, then match character it will found actually. Okay, match character not in the bracket. Let's suppose you don't want the character. Can you see the Y not get highlighted here? Y, it is not blue. This Y is not blue. So if I use the cap symbol at the beginning and you close the bracket, right? If anything you will write it here, that means that particular things you want to ignore. you want to ignore. Okay, let's suppose I want to ignore the digit. I want to ignore the digit. So to find the digit, what is the yeah, /d. If I type here /d slash, oh, yes, if I type /d, you can see the /d only digit will get matched 51. If I write here, can you see it here, except digit, all the this will ignore the digit and it will highlight all the things, right? If anything you are writing inside the square bracket, so that's a, it will the matching character, right? And if you use the cap symbol in the beginning, that means you want to ignore that thing. Okay, pipe symbol, either you can see it here, pipe symbol, the parallel pipeline. So if I use the pipeline here, pipe symbol, we are rarely using this concept. Either means, let's suppose I type pipe and let's suppose plan. Plan I have typed, so it's ignoring the plan. If I type the, you can see it here. So it's basically ignoring the things. You can see. No, the dog get. What is the basically use of pipe? I have not used in the real time actually. Rarely, even I have not used pipe. Well, pipe symbol. Let's try to use with the character plan and then pipe symbol. Okay, got it. I think in this case we can use, let's suppose /d. I want to consider the digit. Either I can use either uh, either 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 and either we can use /w. What exactly happened? /d means this one, and w. Okay, I will let you know because I have not used this concept. Okay, and there is one more very important, the small bracket, right? The parenthesis bracket. Okay, so if anything you will write inside, that will group that thing. You can see it here. Plan. It will group that thing. If I write you can see it here. 14 match. Okay. An exact number. If you want any exact number. No number. What it's saying? Exact number. Yeah, I have passed the same thing. 3. Exact number. What exactly? Exact number, range of the number. Okay, let me pass here 2. No match, pattern error. I think it is the wrong pattern. Okay, let me use 3,5. Wrong pattern. Okay, I will look into that. It was very old. So this, because even I am not using. I am only in the real time. We will use the static plus question mark, this group, and this dot and some of the /d and the character. Okay, let's try to use this thing. Are you there, guys?
Yes, Vikas.
Okay, so let's try to use. Okay, let's suppose I'm writing here Generally, we are using regular regex expression in the case of dynamic data. When you want any dynamic data, in that case, we are using. Okay. I'm writing here. This is the performance testing class using JMeter tool. Okay. And if I type here, I want to match this thing is the performance testing class. So I will go here and right, it will get match. It will get match, right? Now what I will do in that, I want to group the performance. Group the performance. What I have did here, I use the small bracket, I group that thing, one match, right? Now, if I write here, let's suppose now I started one class that is for the API. So I want to make this thing as a dynamic. Right, is the performance testing class. So this class, the course is the dynamic. I'm taking performance, right? So that's why I have written performance. But in future, I'm started the API classes, or in future I started the Selenium class. Let's suppose I'm writing here Selenium. Tell me, if I write this pattern, right? So it will only match only one thing, the top one, right? The performance testing, right? Agree?
Yes.
But my scenario is I want to validate all three. Performance I want to also match. I want to also match API, and I also want to match Selenium, which start from is and end with the testing, right? So where is the and the testing is the static data, but the performance API and the Selenium is the dynamic or not? It is the dynamic, right?
Yes.
Right. So tell me what regular expression I have to write it here to make this as a dynamic. If I write it here, let's suppose if I writing API, then it's highlighting the API one. If I write here Selenium, it's highlighting the Selenium one. It's again not the solution. Agree? Now what we will use the concept. We will use the concept of this. First, guys, you can mute. You first you have grouped that thing. I have grouped that thing. Okay, and then you can use this symbol dot, any character except new line. So if I type dot, that means any character in between is the and the testing, any character, right? Any character, right? And then I will use 1, 0 or more. It could be 0 or more. More means it could be 1 character also, 0 character also, or more character also. So I will use steric symbol. You can see it here. When I written dot, that means any character. I am asking that any character go and consider, which is in between the is the and the testing. Right? Not I'm asking. Now I have to ask like you want 0 or more character. So in that case, I will use steric symbol. It could be 1 or more, right? So I will use the steric symbol here. Now you can see it's highlighting. Can you see it here? Right? It's highlighting the things. Okay. Now after you get the match, like you found the one character, you want to stop the searching, right? You can use the question mark. You can use the question mark. Now you can see all the 3 matches will get found, right? If I write now, if I in the future, if I add anything here, let's suppose here I'm asking, I'm writing here manual testing. Can you see it here? It's showing 4 match. But you don't have to change this thing. I have changed the pet name here. Then it will not get match. Now guys, try to make this thing as a dynamic. The tool I'm using JMeter. Here I'm using, let's suppose, Postman. Okay, and here I'm using let's suppose rest assured. Okay, and here I'm using something like test plan, you can say. Okay, now tell me how I can. So first you have to copy this thing, right? Now you have to make this thing as a dynamic. Group this thing. How you can group? Like that you can group. Then dot symbol, any character you can consider. Then consider one or more character you can consider. Then you can use where it is static and question mark. Consider or not?
You must delete R.
Oh, sorry. You can see it here. 4 matches are there. 4 matches are there. Okay. Similarly, you can also use the plus symbol here instead of static symbol here. The same thing, but in the case of if you are using a static symbol, it is asking 0 or more. And in the case of plus, that means you want plus, you want 1 or more, minimum 1. Minimum 1. Let's suppose if I remove JMeter here. Can you see 3 matches? Can you see 3? Oh, 3 match. If I use direct, 4 matches here. If I'm using static symbol, you can see it asking 0 or more, right? You can see it here. I remove the tool name from the top one. It is blank. So it consider as a 0, and you can see the 4 match. If I write plus, you can see 3 matches. 3 matches will minimum 1 character you want. Minimum 1. Okay. Now guys, now let's come to here. You get the Jetpack store, right? And in the response, open the home page, copy this whole things and go and paste it here. Now you guys will help me, right? This is your response. This is your response. This is your response, right? You need the URL. Where is the URL? Let's find. Yeah, this is the URL. You have to find all this URL, which tag is ahref. Now tell me how you can write the regular expression for tag. Tell me. I want to find all the URL, the A which start from, the tagging is ahref. So if I copy this thing, if I copy and go here and pass it here, you can see it here. This is one. There are 14 matches are there. This is the second one, view cart, and this is for the first one, and the second one, sign in, right? And this is the third one. This is the fourth one. This is the fifth one. Now guys, I want the match this URL actually as a dynamic. Now tell me what path you have to write. Tell me how I can. Okay, you can look at this chart and tell me how I can. The regular expression, it's come with the practice actually. If you don't do the practice, even I forget the thing if I don't do the practice. Even developer are taking the helps of the Google. They are not regularly using, so they will open the chart and see. So this is the chart and tell me how I can write the path, the regular expression path for the URL for this one. You can see it here. It starts from ahref, right? This tag, this tagging, right? Right? So you can see it here. 14 matches are there, right? 14 matches, right? Now copy this thing. This is the full one. Oh, what mistake we are doing? Copy and copy up to here and paste. What error? Again.
Copy till A, Vikas. Not there. You are copying here A also, right?
Okay, but it's not a problem. So copy to A. Let me copy it from here, from the JSON. Let me, give me a second. Give me a second. So this is your response. Yeah. Let me, where is the A? Where is? Guys, that's why I told you everything in the performance testing is the component. If you don't know the coding, yeah, it's okay. Still, you can be a very good performance tester. Here you can see. Let me copy up to A. I copy this thing and I will go here and paste it. Literally. No pattern error. Okay, we can use only actually the regular expression correct pattern error. Correct pattern error. That's why it's showing the pattern error actually. Okay, so what we will do, we will use only as a string. Okay, tell me, I have to find this all the things, all the URL. Okay, how I can. Okay, first thing, try to look at this URL and understand the format. Okay, it start from this thing is dynamic, right? This thing is the dynamic. This thing is are changing, right? The starting ahref is the constant for the everyone, right? So I have used here. Okay, now let me copy the one in the notepad. Yeah, let me go and copy this thing here. Okay, so you have used the tag here, right? And is equal to, then this thing you have to write in a dynamic way. In a dynamic way, how you can. Okay, so first thing, use the, you can see it here, the double quote Everywhere we are using double quote in every URL, right? So I have used the double quote, right? Now, second thing, group that thing. I group that thing, this URL. I have grouped this thing. Okay, I have used the open bracket and close bracket, right? And then any character I have used dot, and then one or zero or more character. Can you see it here? 10 match get found. 10 match, right? And then when you found one, then stop. So how you can stop? Using question mark. Can you see it here? 14 matches here. Can you see it here, guys? All the things are get highlighted. And if you want to use tagging here, again, you can use, right? So this is the dynamic path for this URL, right? Right or wrong, guys? Can you see it here? There are 14s are there. So I have used, right? Now what I will use, remove this, disable this thing, disable. Okay, I have disabled this thing. Now what I will use, go to here and let me delete this thing. Let me delete this URL and let me create one sampler HTTP request and pass it here. And in the home, open the home page. I'm adding the post processor. Regular expression extractor. So this is the one regular expression extractor. So this extractor is also known as a correlation extractor. The correlation means to fetch the data from one place, put the data inside the variable and use in the subsequent call. That is the correlation. So I have used one post processor, that is regular expression extractor. Okay, I have added. Here you can see, here you have to pass the variable name, which variable you want to create. Let's suppose URL, let's suppose JSON. What is this thing? This thing is resource. Can I say resource, something like resource? Okay, let me say resource URL, something like that. Resource, giving the variable name. Okay, and here you have to write the regular expression. So what is the regular expression for that? This is the regular expression for that. Okay, copy this regular expression and paste it here. Okay, the template where it capturing the number. Okay, start with the 1. That means the template, here you can see they have provided the sample $I, where I is capturing the group number. Here you can see there are how many groups are there. If you go here, here you can see match to group 1. Here you can see the group 1. This is the group 1. Here you can pass $1, right? And match number. So match number means there are multiple matches are there. 14 matches are there, right? Which one you want to pick, right? Let's suppose I want to pick second one, right? I have passed the second one. If your match will not found, what value you want to pick, like the default value, if your matching will not get found, right? So I can use use empty default value, or you can pass any custom value, then you can pass the custom value. If you want to pass no match, let's suppose I am passing no match, right? If the match will not found, then it will pass this value actually. Okay, and let me copy the variable name and go here, and let's suppose how you can parameterize dollar symbol, use the variable name like that. Okay, so to test this post processor, I'm writing here, but in the real time we are not using like that. Okay, I will explain you. Okay, so I have used here. Let me save and try to call. Which one? This one. So if you go here, can you see here, guys? Here you can see action cart, action JSON ID and the view cart. Can you see it here? In the second one, let's go to the second one. Here you can see. So it's taking the value, right? If you pass something invalid, let's suppose if not get match, let's suppose here you can not get match. Let's suppose I'm passing something like no. Yeah, no match. Okay, so by mistakenly you are using wrong regular expression, right? And here you have passed the things, okay, in the regular expression. Let's save it, and default value I'm using no match. Okay, let's save and run. Can you see here, guys? The default value is, because the matching is not there, right? Your regular expression is not matched. That's why it's taking up the default value. Here you can see it's taking up the default value.
But earlier also it was failing, no, Vikas?
Yeah, it was failing. Ignore that thing because we have not correctly mapped this request. We are just testing the values is fetched from this regular expression extractor or not. Okay. This is invalid request. Just we are verifying this reference variable. So I'm getting the values or not. It fetching the value from this regular expression or not. Okay. Here you can see no match. Here you can see no match. If your matching is correct, then you will get the value. If your matching is not correct, then you will not get the match value, right? Let's suppose use empty default value. If you select this option, let's try to run. If the matching is not there, right, then it will take as an empty value. Okay, so let's try to run. Can you see it here? The empty value is there. Empty value is there. Can you see it here, guys?
Yes, yes.
Okay, empty value is there.
Because when
Okay.
we given the match number as 2, was it correctly taking the second match? 1 minute, can you explain that?
Sorry, come again.
I mean, when we gave the match number as 2, right?
No, it's taking only second match only. So you can see in the here what is the second match here. So it will, this is the first match and this is the second match. So it will
Yes.
pick this value. It will, if it is not found, then it will not go to the third one. If you want like third, so if you want any random one, right? Let's suppose if you pass the 0, then it will pick the random one. Any value randomly. Okay, any value randomly. Okay, let's suppose let's try it. Okay, so let's save it and run. Here you can see cat. Can you see it here? Cat.
Okay.
Right? Can you see it here? Bird. Right? So, ma'am, you asked me one question that how you can pick the random value of this category.
Yes, yes. That's
Can
what
you see it here? Cat,
it's
again
taking
cat.
randomly. Okay.
Right? Now, let's try to map this thing correctly. Okay? Because our request is failing, right? So what you will do, use this URL in here, and here we can use HTTPS, okay, and this is the URL, okay. Now check. Can you see it here? Now your request will get passed. Pat store account.action JSON ID and the what is sign up form. You can see if you go here in the second one, the second one is view category and category name, and the category ID is reptile. If you go here, the category ID is bird. If you go here, this one is blank, it is taking because it is this sign in, right? Sign in was, right? And yeah, here you can see the cat one. Okay, so like that, if you start doing the practice, you will get the much more clarification.
Because since here is this is the post process, it is using in the next request, right?
Yeah, next request.
What
So
if the next request is not at all given? What will happen? For example, if you disable the HTTP request.
this one, nothing will happen. This will just store the value here. This
Oh,
will store inside this one. Nothing will happen. Let's try to run. Not give you any error or anything. You can see all get passed.
okay. I was just wondering whether that will fail or
Yeah,
maybe
no,
that
no,
was.
just it will all the test case will pass. Just it will extract the value and put it inside this variable.
Okay, good. So while we're running this, our regex should be open, right? That regular expression
Yeah,
extractor.
if I disable this thing, then it will not work. Let's see.
Okay.
Can you see it here? It's taking as a string.
Oh, got it. Okay.
It's taking as a string value. You can see it here.
Okay.
Right?
No, I'm asking while performing this, our regex that window should be open.
This window, JMeter window.
Not JMeter window.
Then which window you are asking?
You are showing us one thing, right?
This one.
Yeah, this
No,
don't have any kind of.
No, that we don't have this thing. I have explained you because this is the very good application where you can do the practice.
Oh, okay.
For the practice purpose, I have shown you this is the regular expression extractor application where you can pass anything and try to create the regular expression path.
Okay. Because can you show us one inference with some website how this regex is using without this thing?
Without what, madam?
I mean, can you show us one inference in some website, for example, Make My Trip or something, how anything where regex is taking randomly or this URL like that?
Okay, so we can do Make My Trip. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we are using the Make My Trip. Let me disable this thread group. Disable, create one new thread group. Create and add the sampler. Okay, I have added the sampler. Let's add the listener. Okay, so Make My Trip, open the okay, I have opened the Make My Trip. Let me copy the URL, pass it here and split this thing, pass it here. Okay, this is your request, right? This is your one request, right? Now create one more request, one more sampler. I have created one more sampler where let's try to open this thing in Cockney mode, private mode. Okay, so that we can trace this session ID or something which we have dynamically generating. Okay, and let's try to call. Make My Trip. Okay, So let me let me clear this thing and click on the second scenario, second request, flight. Oh, give me a second, it not get clear. Flight. It's not getting properly mapped. Let me again clear and click. No, this one is not. Give me a second. Okay, this one is executed. Let's me clear this thing. Okay, load system. Let me clear the make my trip. You clear. You click on the make my trip. Now, now click on the clear, and where is the search? Search. Okay, you click on the search. Let me find, is there any session ID or not there? Can you see it here? Any ID, any unique thing?
Or can we get these URL, because this dynamic what are all the?
Okay, we can take this one. We will go here, hosting, and we will go and here. Okay, let me. This is your URL. Let me map one by one. Flight.com. Put the flight.com. Okay. Now put here HTTPS. Okay. Now this is your resource, right? This is your resource. What
Yes.
have added the resource here. Okay. Now parameter, inside the parameter, the itinerary, you will take this itinerary and you will go here and pass this itinerary, and Delhi to Bangalore. Delhi to Bangalore, you can, in the data, here you can copy this thing and pass this thing.
Because so here we are going to make this dynamic. They need to Bangalore and that date.
Yeah, we have
Can we
to
try?
pick
Okay.
this thing from the we have to pick this thing from this request, from the previous request, right?
Yeah.
So let me first disable this thing, and let me call and get the value. Open that pattern store, response data. Let's see what are the data coming in the response body. Yeah, so these all are the data, right? Copy this thing,
Okay.
copy and go to the regular expression here and paste this thing here. Right now, what value it's passing? Mumbai. What is the code of Mumbai? BOM. BOM. So I will go here. BOM. So let's try to find, is there any BOM or not. So you can see two matches are there. Two matches. Where is that matches? It's saying two match, but where is
You
that?
should use the braces, right, Vikash? Then that be way to find the match.
Okay, let me use. But where is the matches? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here you can see BOM. Okay, this is the BOM, but this is not that BOM.
Yes.
This is not that. Okay, let's suppose I am using DEL. 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 DE. Where is the DEL? Delhi. Where is Delhi? Where is Delhi? Yeah, here you can see Delhi DEL code, right? And you will also get somewhere that code. Now you want to create the dynamic one. Now what you have to do, what is the path of that? So let's suppose I am using flight PLA. How many flight PLA? Right? So you can see flight PLA, and let me copy this thing. Copy this stuff and pass it here, and city. So 10 matches are there. Here you can see. Now you have to pick the value, right? BUM is there, and you can see RUH, KWI, MCT, right? These all are the CT, right? Now you have to now you have to create the path. Now I will use dot and group this thing. Now after that I will use the use thing, and then dot static symbol question mark. Now you can see Kuwait, RUH, Bombay, MCT get highlighted. Can you see it here, guys? Right? So we can wait, and no. There are something other also. Okay, let's try to record this thing using the recorder. How I can use the recorder? Non-text element.
HTTP, just to get it.
Yeah, it get added. Now add the
Controller.
Controller is the recording controller. Yeah, here is the recording controller. I have added. Now go to the make matrix and use this make matrix. And pass this thing here. Now go to the geometer. Go to the geometer and start the recording. And Go to the setting, view certificate, delete this certificate, and again import the certificate, import view, go here and okay, and then again go here and again stop the recording. Let's see, Firefox, and again when you are recording the stuff, it's recording, your browser will get slow actually. Let's wait for that. Oh, man.
Maybe port number.
No, port number is correct. I have not changed the port number. Let's try to open this one. Yeah, it get open quickly. Not this one. Search. Actually, what happened? I think the Make My Trip, we are doing the recorder. Something they have restricted this site or not responding. Might be.
Even I'm trying to record because but it's taking some time. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. The pet store is working fine. I'm able to open, but any other application is going. Let me open the image.
So shall we try with some pet store thing, Vikash? I mean,
Yeah, let me stop this thing. Stop and let me go here and clear the recording. Start recording. Then we go here and open the get pet store and remove this URL. Here you can see once scenario get recorded, enter the URL. The second one is going to record. I have click on the enter the store. So the second one, and the third one I am clicking on the face, and the fourth one, let's suppose the first product ID. Okay, and then stop. Okay, here you can see there are 5 almost. So let's so this is unnecessary, right? The Mozilla stuff. So we can remove this thing.
Yes.
So this one is the Mozilla stuff. So we can delete. And this one is the pet store. So this is the Mozilla, I think. You can delete. This one is also we don't require. You can remove. So these 3 are the requests, right? Here you can see
Yes, yes.
the category ID and the product ID. Okay, so let me move all the requests here. I have moved all the requests here. Okay, and let me remove the script recorder. So we have the 3 requests, right? We have the 3 requests. So let me try to run this thing. Let me disable. Okay, the disabled I have and run. So you will get the response right now. What you have to do, you want to get what you want actually. So let's suppose you want the fish, right, from this response. Okay, this is your response, this is your response. Okay, and from this response you want to, give me a second, let me copy paste here. Now, where is the fish? Where is the fish? Okay, here you can see the fish is there, right? And dogs
Yes.
are there, right? Birds, fish, dogs, reptile. You want to pick up the random value using the post processor, using the regular expression extractor, right? Correct?
Yes, yes.
Now, first you have to use the regular expression. How you can create the regular expression for that? So tell me, can I use the
Category
category
ID. Yeah.
ID? Category ID something. Okay, give me a second. So there is the parameter. Yeah, use. Let's try to do that. Category ID, and then you can see all the category ID get match. Can you see it here? The
Yes.
category ID, the birds, reptile, cats is get match, right? Now, now what you have to do is equal to is equal to is equal to now is equal to then the birds, right? So let me copy the birds, right? So copy the birds. I have copied the birds. Now create the dynamic one. This thing you have to make as a dynamic, right?
Yes.
So how you
Yes.
can create the dynamic? First you can group this thing. You have grouped this thing. Use the dot for any character and the steric symbol, and then you can see steric symbol and the stop the
Question mark.
execution when you find the first word, the question mark. You can see if I'm not using the question mark, if there is any further things, then it will also get selected. You can see it here,
Yes,
save,
yes.
right? So if you get the first thing, you can stop the execution. You don't want to continue, you can stop,
Okay. Okay.
right? So 16 matches. So you can see it here. Birds, birds. um, okay, again it's showing the, yeah, now you can see.
Oh,
Can you
okay.
see it here? Now you can this is your regular expression. Now go to here, in which call you want to get the response. I think from the 74, right? This
Yes,
one,
because
right? Here you can go add the post processor. What is the what processor you want to add? Regular
regular
expression
expression.
extraction.
Yeah. Okay.
Here you can create the name like that. What name you want to create? Let's suppose this is the category ID. Okay, so category ID, something like that. You can pass category element or ID. You can give it. Okay, category element. You can pass it. Okay. Now regular expression. You have to pass that regular expression. This is your regular expression, right? So now the template, the group. Okay. So I want the first one, and here you can pass the random one or any particular one you want. So that thing you can give the particular one. If you passing the 0, right, you can pass the 0, and you are not passing any values here. Now use this thing where you have to use this thing. Now you will go here, and you can use here category, and you can how you can parameterize dollar symbol and use this thing. Correct? Fine.
We have to give that name, right? Because the name which we provided in above.
What name you have provided? This name I have provided.
Category element. Okay.
Yeah, this name you have to go here and you have to pass it here. Okay, so you get the element. Now the what was the third scenario? What was the third scenario, guys? What was the third scenario? In the third scenario was when you click on the fish, click on the any product item, right?
Yes.
Any product item, right? If I click on the dog, so I want to click on the any dog's item ID, right? So this is the third request for that, right?
Yes.
Clear? Now if you go here, oh man, I have cleared the response. Okay, no problem. First execute this thing, okay, and then we will add the same thing in the 76. Okay, so you have added here, right? So what you will do, you will go and execute. You can see you will get the response. You click on, and then if you go to the request body, can you see it taking the docs?
Okay, it's randomly, right? Because as we have given,
right?
Okay.
Okay, and it's taking the value as a F1 SW01. But here you can see this is the static data.
Yes, we have provided.
Right? Okay. We will create as a dynamic. Let's try. What I will do, let's try to again execute, and let's see. It's taking the docs again. Why? So let me try to execute again. Yeah, you can see birds, right? Right? Now from the birds, let me copy this whole thing and go here in the request and pass this thing here, right? In the birds, what is the product ID of the bird? You want to click on the product ID. So somewhere, what is the name here? Go here. What is the name? Yeah, product ID. That's why the recording will help you. If you record the any stuff, so it will automatically get set, right? You have to only change the value. That's why I was trying to record the make matrix. It will get easy for me to trace the stuff. Okay, so copy this product ID, and if you go and select here product ID, you can see this is the product ID, right?
Yes.
Right. So what I am trying to do here, you go to the Jetpack store. You're clicking on the Jetpack store. First one is this one is the first scenario, right? This one is the first. The second one you enter, then you click on the face, right? After clicking on the face, you have the difference product ID. You want to click on the anyone, right? You can click on. Let's suppose you're clicking on the dog. So dog's product ID is different. If you're clicking on the reptile product ID is different, right? So you have to create like that, right? So this thing you have to create as a dynamic, right? So so you will go here, and this is the product ID, right? So how you can create the dynamic one? So again is equal to and again group this thing and dot steric symbol and question mark. Can you see it highlighting the product one? There are only two, right? So I will copy this thing. And again go here. So from which request I am taking the value?
From 75.
Okay, so I will add the post processor here.
Okay.
Regular expression extractor. Okay, so give the name as a product ID. Okay, product ID. Okay, so you pass the product ID, and what is the expression for that? This is the expression, right? And you can use the one from the template one and put the here, right, and the random one. Okay, and pass the default value as it. If this is not get met, if you want to pass anything, then you can pass. Okay, let's try to run. Okay, let's try to run. Oh, we did the mistake. We have not parameterized that.
Yes,
right?
yes.
We have to use now. So product ID. Let me copy the product ID and go here and let me pass it here, right? So how I can use
Dollar and
dollar and the variable name. Okay. Now let me try to run. So you can see here you will get docs, right? And if you go here, the docs ID is K9P002, right? If you go to the UI section, and click on the docs, can you see that code K9P002? K9P002
yes,
here.
yes.
Code.
Second.
Right? Similarly, if you want to click on again, then click on again. Right, check, it's taking the birds, and if you go here, the birds AVSB02. Okay, let's go to the bird side and let's check AVSB02 finch, right? So that is the use of the regular expression extractor. Okay, wherever you want, you have to add inside that particular request, and using the variable you can use that. That is also known as a correlation. Okay, so in I think in next Saturday, Sunday 21, we will discuss the other processor also. We have multiple processor, guys. Okay, so we will discuss that thing also. We started the class on 5. Great. Okay, so okay, no problem. So yeah, guys, thank you. Any other question? Okay, we have discussed only only one post processor, that is regular expression. In coming classes on Saturday, I will try to complete all, right, and also cover a couple of the preprocessor which are pending. After then, we will try to create the scenario. Okay, and we will design the stuff, because most of the element we have already discussed in the in the next class. I will discuss all the element we will discuss on the next Saturday, Sunday. Okay, after then we will design the test plan and we will apply the load on the server. After then we will discuss the other sampler. If you go here and sampler, where is the sampler? Here, if you go to the sampler, we have the other sampler also, because yeah, that's it, guys. So our future plan is decided, what we are going to learn. Thank you, guys.
Can I 1 minute share my screen?
Yeah. So that's it, guys. If you have any queries, then let me know. We already have more than 230. So
Because for this, the certificate is right. It is always expiring within that limit. There is no way, because we have to often keep on uploading that in
no,
the
I will.
Firefox.
I think in next class I will explain you the blaze meter, so we don't have to record the stuff using the Firefox. Okay, so that problem will get solved in the next class. I will explain you the blaze meter.
Yes,
Using
Vikash, that
blaze
will be
meter, you
helpful.
can record,
You
because
see
I am
my
also facing the same issue when I am going to record using the Firefox. Okay, so in coming class I will explain you the blaze meter. Okay. But from the next class, I will go fast, because I spent a lot of time behind the element, right? If you don't do the practice, when I design the test plan, then I will not go and explain the component. That's why please do the practice. Okay? Yeah, ma'am, tell me.
this all return me the same main page. It's okay, not randomly. Only this randomly. It's okay.
Yeah, because it depends on the JMeter. Sometimes they will pick the same value multiple times, right? And sometimes it will pick one by one. So it depends on if you design the stuff correctly, then it will definitely pick the random one. If you want to check, increase the number of user. You can see in the next one, it's taking the different one.
It only brings these two. List of
Okay, can you
Wikipedia.
show me what you have used? Yeah. Okay, from where you are getting the HTML link?
From
So,
here.
madam, give me a second. Could you please add this HTML link parcel inside the second request? It is not inside. No, 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 no. Yeah, drag it here. It is inside. Okay, let's delete it. Let's delete it. And click on that. Yeah, click on that where you want. Yeah, right click and add the preprocessor HTML link parser. Yeah, now you can see the hierarchy. It is different or not?
Yes.
Earlier it was in the same level, right? Now you can try
Okay.
to do. Now you can try to do. It's working or not?
The same.
Hmm?
The same. Main and list of.
Can you increase the number of you are trying to can you go to the first one response, yeah, go to the view result tree listener, go to the no the existing listener, you have to go view result tree. Can you open the first one, any first response? Yeah, go to the response data. Okay, so there are link are available, right? Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Go to the HTML link parser. Go to, yeah, request.
Maybe there are IP another. Maybe I must. No.
No, fine. It's fine. Now HTTP link parcel get method dot star. It will pick the random one. Okay, now increase the number of user. Increase the number of users. Go to the test group and increase
There are
the
none.
thread group. Increase the number of user. Yes, and try to run. Main page. Can you see this one is different?
Yes.
How many you have passed? It executed only 4 times. You pass only 4 user?
5.
Can you pass the 10 here? Yeah, save it and run. Now you can go to main page, main. Okay. Now you can see it is different. Now you can see it is different.
I mean, see that only a list of Wikipedia and main it return. It's okay, not another links.
You can use some other like Make My Trip or any application. Try to test with different application
Okay.
also.
Okay.
But
Okay.
you have implemented the correct thing. It will fetch try to use any application in which they have used they having the multiple link, right?
Okay. Okay, thank you. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Bye bye. Bye guys.